Hello everybody and welcome to another photography talk, and I just want to share with you something that came to my mind browsing on an online group about photography, and I think it was a group about Pentax, and I'm shooting this video with the Pentax K3 monochrome just to check how it goes with the video, and I'm just curious about that. I was browsing this photography group, and there was a picture of a young woman sitting on a bench in a public space, and I think it was the square of town or something like that, and it looked like an European town, by the way, and it was the woman was just sitting there reading a book, and she was kind of recognizable, not too much. It was kind of a profile from the back, but still the woman was a little bit recognizable. And I started to read the comments, and there was a lot of people pointing out that you cannot take picture of people without their consent and all these kind of things. I started to think about this. If we look at history of photography, I was at the exhibit by Elliot Erwitt, was last week or something like that. For example, there's a lot of photographs taken of people around in the streets, in public spaces, and it's kind of normal. When you take pictures of public spaces, it's normal to have people inside. There are countries where this became almost impossible. I think one of these is Netherlands, and the regulations are very strict. And a lot of people saying that if they see you with the camera in a public space, it's easy to get attacked and insulted. In Italy, this is kind of easy to understand. They never changed a law that was made in 32 by Mussolini to control the people, so the idea is that if there's more than 3 people, it's a crowd, and you are always allowed to photograph a crowd and all these kind of things. It was born as control of the population, but that's still the rule. And I was looking at all this comment, all these people becoming also sometimes very aggressive against the author of the photograph, thinking, okay, you are violating the privacy and all these kind of things. And I was really kind of surprised. It was really a picture that was just beautiful, was not showing anything that could be harmful to the person portrayed, so it's something that it's absolutely normal, it's absolutely nice. I mean, if you have a picture like that in your employer see a picture like that, there's no consequences at all. So I was looking at these things, and I started also to look at some profiles of the people that were more aggressive against the photographer for the violation of privacy. What I noticed that was kind of fun is that more they were aggressive for this violation of privacy, and more they had a lot of private pictures on their profile. They were sharing their family moments. They were sharing a lot of things with the public. And I was thinking, okay, what is the problem? And something that I started to notice is that we live in a very strange society, and sometimes I see contrasts that are really not easy to understand. We live in a society where not having privacy is become the norm. Something that if you go around in any city, also in a small town like this one where I live in Italy, there are cameras everywhere. Just to give you an example, it was 15-20 years ago, and on a road that is from this town to the biggest one, on the bigger one nearby, they installed some cameras. There are the poles with the cameras, and are cameras that are not pointing to the back of the car to see the plate or these kind of things, are pointing to the face of the driver. So it's cameras for facial recognition and so on. When I asked at the local police, the mayor, I asked him was, okay, who put this camera? And it was not a local camera. The guy in the police told me, no, it's not the police, it's not, nobody said we put on this camera. Since the day, every time I pass down the camera, I pull down the shade, and I usually pull down the shade using my middle finger. And my idea is, okay, one day someone will complain for that and tell me who they are. But nobody cares. It's something that the camera appeared, nobody cared. Everybody passed down the camera thinking it's normal. It's something that is normal. For me, it's not. But people are accepting all these surveillance cameras around the cities. And at the same time, they are really upset for the privacy if a photographer is taking a picture on a public space and they are there. Another strange thing is that we live in a society where privacy does not exist anymore, and not just for the cameras, but because everything that was private now is public. And if you think about it, is something as the sexuality, the sexual preferences of the people. It was used to be something that what happened in the bedrooms is absolutely private. Right now, it's a matter of pride. You go around and share with the people. You fill up a form to send a resume or something like that. Just 2 days ago, I saw an open position that was very interesting, and I thought, okay, I can click apply and see what happens. And when I applied, the first question was about how I identify sexually. It was, the male, female, non-binary, and also these 29 different things that you think, okay, why I have to share what are my sexual preferences with an employer. For me, that is crazy. We spent the last 3 years and was mandatory to share our health choices. It was impossible even to go to work and sustain yourself and your family without showing a piece of paper that demonstrated your health choice. And people accepted it. It was absolutely normal. And by the way, the country that have the most restrictive rules about privacy in regard of photography were countries that were absolutely the first to implement something as the passport, the vaccine passport. So this is absolutely something that is, for me, is kind of crazy. Is how you can be upset because a photographer is taking a picture of the main square and you are sitting there with your friends or something like that, and that upsets you. But it doesn't upset you to have to show proof of your medical status or to have to share your sexual preferences with an employer and so on. We had things like religion, the political point of views, and all these kind of things that were considered something private and was normal. Now it's something that is shared by everybody. Everybody's going around screaming their political ideas or these kind of things, and it's normal. And at the same time, they get upset because someone took a picture of a young woman just reading a book in a beautiful public space in a square or something like that. This for me is kind of crazy. And another crazy thing is that you see in these comments a lot of people asking for more regulation or something like that to be, we want to some regulation to restrict this and restrict that. And nobody is talking about a moral choice. A rule can tell me you can photograph or not the woman sitting on the bench, but it doesn't tell me if I can take the photograph when is just she reading a book without nothing that is can be used to harm her, or if I take the same picture of a woman picking her nose. That is something that if you share around can be harmful for the person. So it's absolutely strange. And by the way, I noticed on myself that I never had problems when I was around taking pictures to include people in the pictures. Right now, I feel not comfortable at all. If I'm in a place where there's really a ton of people, I have no problems. I feel good about that. But for example, if there's just 2 or 3 people in the image, also if they are not recognizable, they are just from the back or something like that, I already feel uncomfortable because there's always the problem that there can be someone that get upset for that, and I kind of understand it. Last time I was walking in my town, and 2 people arrived, one with a video camera, big one, television. They pointed to my face and asked the question. The first thing, I put my hand in front of the lens and was, what the hell are you doing? But was something that was an invasion directly on my privacy and on my thing. By the way, they were asking questions about a cold case or something like that I really think it's absurd to go to inside these things to ask the people their feeling about these things. But that for me was a problem, but it was something direct on me. If I'm sitting just on a bench in a square and there's someone taking pictures and I'm one of the person there, where is the problem? So it's something that has become very difficult, and I wonder, what do you do when you go around and take pictures and there's people involved? What is your approach? What do you think is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? And most of all, how do you confront in different countries? How do you confront yourself with what are the regulations? So that was something I was thinking. And by the way, connected to this comes to my mind was 2 or 3 years ago. I had this. I was with a kind of friend, a friend of a friend. We were around sitting in a bar or something, and someone took a picture. They were taking a picture of the street. We were sitting at the tables of the bar, and this girl started to, oh, why they take the pictures and so on and something like that. Was complaining, and after 10 minutes, she was talking about how much she enjoyed watching the Big Brother. And the Big Brother, the TV show, not the Orwellian Big Brother. So she was talking about that, and I was thinking, okay, you love to see something that is supposed, in theory, to be a total violation of the private life of some people. Okay, it's something that they signed for, but still, you are enjoying that, and at the same time, you're upset because someone is taking a picture of the street where probably there will be 50 people inside the same picture and you will be just a small face in a little corner, and that gets you upset. So this is another contrast, and I see this contrast every day. I see the world is going in directions that I never imagined, and I really see this contrast a lot. So thank you very much for watching, and let me know what you think. See you next time.